You think trauma is something that happens in your mind, a memory, a feeling, something you think about and eventually move past. But here's what nobody tells you. Trauma lives in your body. Your muscles remember it. Your nervous system remembers it. Your posture, your breathing, your reflexes, all of it shaped by experiences you may not even consciously recall. That tension in your shoulders that never goes away, the way your stomach drops when someone raises their voice, the exhaustion that no amount of sleep seems to fix. These are not random symptoms. These are adaptations. Your body learned something, and it never stopped responding to that lesson. This is not dysfunction. This is survival programming running long after the threat has passed. Today, we are going through every type of trauma your body remembers, not just what happened, but how your body encoded it, why it still affects you, and what it would take to teach your body something new. Acute trauma. This is the sudden shock, a car accident, an assault, witnessing violence, a natural disaster. Something happened fast. Your body did not have time to prepare. Here is what your body actually learns. In the moment of acute trauma, your nervous system floods with stress hormones, adrenaline surges, cortisol spikes, your heart races, your muscles tense, everything non-essential shuts down, digestion, immune function, rational thinking. This is the fight or flight response doing exactly what it was designed to do. But here is the problem. If the event is overwhelming, if you could not fight and could not flee, your body may freeze. The energy meant for escape gets trapped. The nervous system never completes the cycle, and your body remembers. Years later, a sound, a smell, a situation that vaguely resembles the original event can trigger the same response. Your body does not know the trauma is over. It is still bracing for impact. This is not weakness. This is your body protecting you the only way it knew how. Chronic stress trauma. This one is sneaky because it does not look like trauma at all. No single event, no dramatic moment, just constant, unrelenting pressure, day after day, month after month, year after year, a demanding job, financial strain, caregiving without support, living in an unsafe environment. Here is what your body learns. When stress never stops, your body adapts to being in survival mode permanently. Cortisol stays elevated, sleep suffers, inflammation increases. Your nervous system forgets how to relax because relaxation has not been safe. Over time, this rewires your baseline. Your body learns that danger is constant. It learns to stay alert even when nothing is happening. It learns to interpret neutral situations as threats. This is why people with chronic stress trauma often feel exhausted but wired. Their body is running an emergency protocol that never turns off. The adaptation was brilliant for surviving the stress. But now the stress is gone, and the body has not received the update. Childhood trauma. This is where it gets deeper. When trauma happens in childhood, it does not just create a memory. It shapes the architecture of the brain and nervous system during the most critical developmental period. A child's brain is not fully formed. It is being built in real time based on environmental signals. Here is what the body learns. If the environment is unsafe, if there is abuse, chaos, neglect, or unpredictability, the child's nervous system develops around threat. The brain prioritizes survival circuits over learning circuits. The stress response becomes hair trigger sensitive. The body learns to be hypervigilant because that is what kept the child safe. This is why childhood trauma has such lasting effects. It is not just a bad memory, it is the foundation upon which the nervous system was constructed. The body did not fail. The body adapted to an environment where adaptation was necessary for survival. But now the child is an adult. The environment has changed, and the body is still running the old software. Neglect trauma. This type of trauma is invisible because it is defined by absence, not action. Nothing bad happened, but nothing good happened either. No attunement, no comfort when distressed, no reflection of worth or value. Here is what the body learns. A child who is neglected learns that their needs do not matter. Their cries for connection go unanswered. Their nervous system does not receive the co-regulation it needs to develop properly. The body learns that reaching out leads to nothing, so it stops reaching. This creates a particular pattern: difficulty identifying needs, discomfort with receiving care, a deep sense of emptiness that cannot be filled. The body remembers that connection was not available, and it protects itself by not expecting connection in the future. This is why neglect trauma can be so confusing. There is no clear event to point to, just a pervasive sense that something is missing. The body knows, even when the mind cannot explain. Abandonment trauma. Someone who was supposed to stay, left. A parent who disappeared. A caregiver who walked away. A sudden loss of someone the nervous system depended on for safety. Here is what the body learns. When abandonment happens, especially in childhood, the body learns that attachment is dangerous. Love leads to loss. Dependence leads to devastation. The nervous system becomes hyper-alert to signs of leaving. Any hint of withdrawal, distance, or disconnection triggers panic, not because the current situation warrants it, but because the body remembers what happened last time. This shows up in relationships as clinginess, jealousy, or the opposite, preemptive withdrawal to avoid being left first. The body learned that closeness ends in pain, so it protects itself, either by grasping too tightly or by never fully attaching. Neither response is dysfunction. Both are survival strategies encoded in the nervous system, and this is the part most people never realize. Trauma is not just what happened to you. Trauma is what your body learned from what happened to you. And what the body learns, the body remembers, in posture, in breath, in reflexes, in patterns of tension and collapse. This is why you cannot simply think your way out of trauma. The body has its own memory, and that memory must be addressed on its own terms. We are halfway through, and the connections are about to get deeper. Rejection trauma. This one often gets dismissed as sensitivity, but rejection is not trivial to the nervous system. Humans evolved as social creatures. Rejection from the group once meant death. No protection, no resources, no survival. Here is what the body learns. When rejection happens repeatedly, from peers, from family, from romantic partners, the body learns that it is not safe to be seen. The nervous system begins to anticipate rejection before it happens. Social situations become threatening. Vulnerability becomes dangerous. This shows up as social anxiety, people-pleasing, perfectionism, or withdrawal from connection altogether. The body is trying to prevent the pain it remembers, and in doing so, it often creates the isolation it was trying to avoid. Loss and grief. Trauma. Grief is natural, but when loss is sudden, violent, or unprocessed, it becomes traumatic. The death of a loved one, the end of a relationship, the loss of identity, health, or security. Here is what the body learns. Unresolved grief keeps the nervous system in a state of searching. The body expects the person or thing to return. It cannot fully accept the absence. This creates a loop. The body scans for what is gone, does not find it, and the stress response activates, over and over. Grief trauma shows up as numbness, an inability to feel joy, or sudden waves of emotion that seem disproportionate to the present moment. The body is still looking for something it cannot find. Until the loss is fully processed, not just understood, but felt and integrated, the body remains in limbo. Relationship trauma. This includes betrayal, manipulation, emotional abuse, and toxic dynamics. Someone you trusted used that trust against you. Here is what the body learns. Relationship trauma teaches the nervous system that intimacy is a threat. The closer someone gets, the more dangerous they become. The body learns to watch for signs of betrayal. It becomes hypervigilant in relationships, scanning for micro-expressions, tone shifts, anything that might indicate incoming harm. This makes healthy relationships difficult, not because the person does not want connection, but because their body has learned that connection precedes pain. Trust becomes almost impossible. Or trust is given too quickly to avoid the anxiety of uncertainty. Both patterns are the body trying to manage a threat it remembers vividly. Verbal abuse trauma. Words do not leave visible marks, but the body remembers them. Constant criticism, humiliation, being told you are worthless, stupid, unlovable. Here is what the body learns. Verbal abuse trains the nervous system to flinch at tone before content is even processed. The body learns to brace when voices raise, when certain phrases begin, when the energy in a room shifts. Over time, the abuser's voice becomes internalized. The person continues the abuse internally long after the external source is gone. This shows up as harsh self-criticism, negative self-talk, and a nervous system that responds to internal thoughts as if they were external threats. The body cannot distinguish between being attacked by someone else and being attacked by your own mind. It responds the same way. Physical abuse trauma. When the body itself has been hurt by another person, the memory is stored in tissue, posture, and reflexes. Here is what the body learns. Physical abuse teaches the body that it is not safe in its own skin. The nervous system becomes hypervigilant to physical proximity, sudden movements, or situations where escape is limited. The body may develop chronic tension, muscles that stay braced for impact, or the opposite, a kind of collapse, a giving up of physical boundaries because fighting was not possible. Some people flinch when touched unexpectedly, even gently. Some cannot tolerate being in enclosed spaces. Some disconnect from their body entirely because being present in it was too painful. These are not overreactions. These are survival adaptations. Sexual trauma. This is one of the deepest violations because it targets the most vulnerable aspects of self: body, boundaries, trust, and identity. Here is what the body learns. Sexual trauma teaches the nervous system that the body is not safe, that boundaries can be violated without warning, that intimacy equals danger. The body may respond with hypervigilance around physical touch, or it may dissociate, checking out during intimate moments as a protective mechanism. Some survivors experience physical symptoms, chronic pain, digestive issues, reproductive problems that have no clear medical cause. The body is holding what the mind may not be ready to fully process. This is not weakness or damage. This is the body doing its job, protecting until safety is established. Medical trauma, hospitals, surgeries, painful procedures, loss of bodily autonomy during illness. These experiences can traumatize even when they are medically necessary. Here is what the body learns. Medical trauma teaches the nervous system that healthcare settings are dangerous. The body associates clinical environments with pain, helplessness, and loss of control. This shows up as avoidance of doctors, panic during medical procedures, or a deep distrust of the healthcare system. For people who experienced medical trauma in childhood, especially when they could not understand what was happening or why, the body may carry a sense of violation that mirrors other forms of abuse. The procedures may have been necessary, but the body learned that it could be hurt by the very people supposed to help. Burnout trauma. This is the trauma nobody talks about because it happens in plain sight. Overworking, overfunctioning, giving more than you have until there is nothing left. Here is what the body learns. Burnout teaches the nervous system that rest is not allowed, that worth comes only from productivity, that stopping means failure. The body adapts by running on stress hormones until the system collapses. And when collapse happens, chronic fatigue, depression, physical illness, the body is not breaking down. It is forcing rest that the mind refused to take. Burnout trauma often leaves a legacy of fear around work, guilt around rest, and a nervous system that does not know how to exist without pressure. Now here is what connects all of this. Every type of trauma, acute, chronic, emotional, physical, relational, developmental, creates the same fundamental pattern. Experience sends a signal. The body adapts to that signal. The adaptation becomes automatic, and the automatic response persists long after the original experience ends. This is not pathology. This is how bodies work. Your body learned to survive what happened to you. It developed strategies, responses, patterns that kept you alive or kept you functional. The problem is not that your body adapted. The problem is that the adaptation is still running when it is no longer needed. The question is not how to fix your body. Your body is not broken. The question is how to teach your body something new, how to send new signals of safety, of connection, of presence that allow the nervous system to update its programming. This is what trauma healing actually is. Not erasing the past, not forgetting what happened, but teaching your body that the past is over, that safety is possible now, that a new response is allowed. Your body is always learning. Every experience teaches it something. The trauma taught it danger, threat, and survival. But healing can teach it something different. Safety, rest, connection, trust. The body that learned fear can learn peace. The body that learned hypervigilance can learn relaxation. The body that learned to brace can learn to soften. Not by forcing, not by pushing through, by sending new signals consistently until the body believes them. Your body remembers everything. The question is, what do you want it to learn next?